Well, it's interesting. Once again, late last season for the Lakers, they slumped to close out the regular season, and it seems to be a pattern. You know, it's almost like they get bored before they actually get into the postseason.
The starters for the Utah Jazz, Kirilenko, Millsap, and Jefferson are the front court. Bell is out there with Devin Harris. And Bell kicks to Harris. 6 to shoot. Kirilenko backing down. The jump hook. Some solid defense from Gasol. And, you know, Steve, for the Lakers, Lamar Odom said himself their sluggish finishes in the second half were partly born of overconfidence, of ego. I don't know much credence you put in that, Clark. I mean, what do you think?
You know what? I think there is a tendency, a human tendency, to become complacent, to become full, and you can lose some of your edge. I don't think it's a lack of humility and respect. I think it's just the nature of being somewhat satisfied. And when you're in this league, because people are coming after you a lot harder when you've got what they want in terms of championships, and especially as you age, I think it gets harder sometimes to fight off that resistance and to flip the switch if you find yourself in a little bit of a rut.
Second shot opportunity, and he sinks the layup.
He has such a calm demeanor, but he locks in, takes his time, and finishes.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Mike Brown. And what'd you find out?
Kevin, adding a few more pump fakes is what he is instructing his inside players to do. They are facing a good shot blocking team, and if they can keep them guessing on when to jump, they'll be in a better position to get uncontested looks at the hoop. Not an easy thing to do with a shot blocker hanging around, Kevin.
Terrific, Doris. Thanks. They put a lot of thought into how they're going to match up against the opposing defense, guys.
Well, one of the things you got to do here, Kevin, and Steve, you can't afford empty possessions against this team. You've got to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, that's for sure, Clark. You got to make them count because you know you're not going to get a lot of open looks. So make sure you make the defense move the ball, try to get good looks, and make them pay.
And that one's good. Millsap.
Well, Mike Brown, a part of the Greg Popovich coaching tree. In fact, I played for him in San Antonio in 2003 when he was an assistant. Excellent coach, really a guy who will emphasize the defensive end of the floor. That's his forte.
It's one-on-one. Gasol kicks to Kobe. Over Bell. Shot's good by Kobe. Kobe's got 8. Here's Harris. Steve, good point about Mike Brown. You know, Clark, his familiarity with the Western Conference and some of the big teams in that conference, I'm sure a big reason why the Lakers got him.
Well, I think all around he's just an outstanding coach. I mean, he's in his prime. He's a young, relatively young coach who's had tremendous experience. So his record is very impressive. His demeanor and personality and philosophy, I think, is really solid. It helps that he was coaching LeBron, but make no mistake, you just don't stumble into what he's been able to do as far as wins go. I mean, he's won almost 2/3 of his games as an NBA head coach, and that list is short when you start looking at the resumes of head coaches to have won 2/3 of the games you coached in.
Jazz having all kinds of trouble defending against Kobe.
He already has 8 points and a steal.
Wow, is he playing well, just taking over this game.
Boy, you got to love seeing a player get it going like that.
Kobe Bryant is one of those select few first-name basis superstars in the NBA. Larry, Michael, and of course Kobe, Magic. Those guys are famous by one name only.
And Miles kicks to Jefferson. Soft touch off the glass. Lakers leading by 5. And Steve, you know, Kobe, of course, the man in the entertainment capital of Los Angeles. He's taken the attention in stride. I think he feeds off it a little bit. You know,
sure.
It's a special psyche to play in that kind of environment.
Yeah, he's handled it really well. I mean, for a guy who spends so much time in the public eye, it seems as though he's always been motivated more by winning than the adoration. I think that's why he has such great respect from his teammates. Another reason why the Lakers have been so successful since he's been there.
And that one's good. The Lakers on offense. Up with it. Drops in the layup for 2. Kobe's got 13.
I think he set in tone for the entire team in this quarter. Tremendous stuff. Good action.
Harris against Fisher. Fisher against Harris. Hayward over Bynum. A rebound by Kobe Bryant.
I tell you, the D was really lax there. I mean, they know he really struggles from that range. Boy, the Western Conference just proved to be too much for the Jazz to handle effectively last season.
Here's Harris. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Timeout is called, first of the game for the Jazz.
They've gone cold, and a smart timeout here to give them a second to regroup and try to get back on the right track.
Start going back to the Jazz in the West. Losing an elite guard like Williams did not help. Now, Stevie's going to make a difference for New Jersey, but I think that's going to be a huge void for Utah. What do you think?
No question. This league is all about point guards, Kevin, and to try to win in the Western Conference against guys like Steve Nash and Chris Paul, it's going to be tough for the Jazz. In fact, 31 of their 43 losses last year came against Western Conference foes.
Watson with it. He's covered by Fisher. Three-pointer. Watson's shot is off. Here's the Lakers with the ball. They're on a 15-6 run. A 10-footer, and again, Kobe Bryant. Kobe's got 17 now. Jazz trail by 11. And here's Watson, picked up by Kobe. Watson dishes to Favors. Kobe with the steal.
Boy, their struggles continue. Turnovers a major factor.
Yeah, and a little too casual, a little Joe Cool here to start the game, and that can be problematic.
Here's Miles. Count the bucket.
I like him. I mean, he dropped a dime on him right there, guys.
Just 3 on the clock. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Lakers ahead. They lead by 9.
And the key is you look at
well, not exactly a close game so far, but as the second quarter starts here, plenty of time for a comeback. Powell and Bynum filling up the middle. Fisher and Kobe man the backcourt. And it's Artest in at the 3, the small forward. That's who's in the game for the Lakers. Tries again. The shot by Kobe, no good.
you gotta like the defense not quitting on the play and getting a hand in the face.
Sure do. With a tough defender breathing down your neck, that makes it not an easy shot.
Here's Kobe, 17 points in the game. Offline.
Well, that's not really what typically happens for someone with his touch around the rim. That's a surprise.
Kobe Bryant now in his 16th season. What has been one of the great careers in NBA history. He's battling age now, but still a very, very productive player.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Britt. Doris, what do you have?
Well, Kevin, a rare early exit from the playoffs by the Los Angeles Lakers spurred some talk that perhaps they might blow up their core, and specifically their post players. But General Manager Mitch Kupchak said that wasn't the case and stressed the importance of big, saying talented big players are always at a premium. Guys, it doesn't look like those players are going anywhere anytime soon. Back to you.
Always great to hear from you, Doris.
Lakers went out on a bad note, but I agree with the decision to not blow up the roster. Keep it together for a bit.
Well, I kind of like it, guys, that they didn't make major moves. I mean, remember, this is an extremely talented team. They were probably very tired from their championship runs 3 years in a row. So I think it makes sense. Let them recharge their batteries, come back together, and see if they can make another run this year.
Here's what Utah's going with right now. Al Jefferson is checked in for Millsap. Karolinko comes in for C.J. Miles. Devin Harris subbed in for Earl Watson. Here's Harris. No luck. And it's the Lakers taking it the other way. And Steve, for Kobe Bryant, as you said, battling age. He's 33 right now going into this season. Wear and tear, a part of the game. He's played so many minutes. Preseason, regular season, all those playoffs, Clark. He said his kneecap is almost bone on bone. He's got an arthritic right index finger on his shooting hand. He continues on. The guy's tough.
Yeah, the battle scars of a long, successful career. He takes pride in that, but he also recognizes the reality of it. And most of the time, you don't find out about those health issues. That's, again, a part of his desire to, once he gets between the lines, to focus 100% on the task at hand, not wanting to make excuses. And with his talent and his resume, He never needs to.
Nope, you're exactly right.
It's really weird, guys, to not see the Jazz in the postseason. They have found their way in so consistently over the last 20 years, really, guys.
You're right. Utah calls timeout. And Clark, back to the Jazz. They came close, but too much upheaval, Steve, I think, on that roster kind of sunk this season.
Yeah, I agree, and they're in a rebuilding mode now, but you can't count the Jazz out of the playoff picture for long, not with their history. They have been one of the strongest franchises in the NBA.
I got it.
Now, here is Bell, guarded by Kobe. Shot clock at 6. Here's Jefferson. Connects from 13 feet out. Jefferson's got 6 points.
Probably time to bring an extra defender, change up the defense a little bit.
Well, Steve, he's been so good. I think they got to take the ball out of his hands right now.
They're just trying to get out and outrun their opponent. That's exactly what's happening.
And I like the way the game plan is working quite nicely right now. I mean, they're running right by him and racking up a bunch of fast break points.
Fisher is tagged with the reach, and that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
That's the risk you run by staying out there as he picks up his 3rd.
For the Jazz, Memo Okur is checked in for Jefferson, and Paul Millsap is subbed in for Derek Favors. Good look, and there's Millsap. That's good on the assist by Bell. Millsap's got his 2nd basket of the night. And Kobe gets it to go. Here's Harris, looking for his first bucket of the game. The feed to Okur. Guarded down by Andrew Bynum. Kobe with the steal.
Tried to use the pump fake there, but the defense didn't buy it. This has been an offensive explosion, guys. They are on fire.
How about a volcanic eruption, a flash fire? And defensively, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. They just hope that they cool off at some point.
And the Jazz call time here.
Well, you know, a recent stat said that in the last 15 years, the Lakers are on average the best offense in the NBA. But in crunch time, ironically, they fall to around 12th best offensively. Not nearly as effective.
He goes up. And Paul Millsap, the bucket on the assist by Harris. 6 points for Millsap.
Well, they finally gotten into a rhythm offensively this quarter, and if they keep shooting like this, they won't be down for long.
Well, Steve, you can see them looking to cut that lead down little by little to turn things around, and that's how you got to do it. How do you eat a big pizza? One slice at a time.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kevin, Mike Brown is fully aware of the expectations in his first year as the Lakers head coach. He knows what he got into and understands what the Lakers consider success. Quote, "We don't play for second here." He will have his work cut out, though, given how the Lakers exited last year's playoffs.
Thank you, Doris. No doubt a lot of pressure on Mike Brown in his first year here in L.A.
Tough shoes to fill, and Phil Jackson, and then a place in Los Angeles where winning is expected. And if you don't win at all, it's been a failure.
Here's Kobe. It's a 14-point game. Shoots over Miles. Jazz trail by 14. Harris kicks to Millsap. Harris against Kobe. Here's Miles. Off target from 3-point range.
Now defensively, they did a great job of staying tight on him.
And he gets it to go as they call the foul. He's on his way to the line for one more.
Took the contact, knocked it down, and now he'll get a free throw.
Boy, that's a nice finish right there. I mean, he didn't give up on that shot even though he got hit.
No good there. He's unable to convert on the 3-point play. Here comes Harris. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. He feeds it to Miles. Stolen by Artest.
Well, he's showing off his defensive instincts by making plays just like that.
Goes straight up. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Nice time to use that foul to stop the layup.
You know, if you can save just 1 point, that foul was the right move.
And Kobe drops them both. 8 seconds left to play here in the half. Harris outside. He got it up. It's blocked. A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close.
Well, how about Kobe in this one? He's got 36 points, and he's come away with a lot of steals in this one.
How about his instincts? I mean, his defensive awareness is just off the charts.
Live from the Staples Center, you're watching 2K Sports.
Welcome to HP at the half. We got a blowout underway in Los Angeles. The Lakers came out with a full head of steam. They've done a fantastic job pushing the break and the tempo, easy buckets in transition. Kobe Bryant, huge impact. He's already put up a game's worth of points and has been getting after it on defense as well. No let up on either end of the court. And the Jazz, they're putting up a fight. They've looked to their bench for scoring, and it's paying big dividends. Paul Millsap making an impact in this one. He has 6 points and has been a huge helper on the boards as well. Checking out the point leaders from both teams in this game, you know they're going to bring it again in the second half. And that'll do it. Let's get you out to the second half, about to start at Staples Center.
There you get a view of L.A. live from the Staples Center as we return to action here in Los Angeles. Lakers leading by 18.
Major front court overhaul for Utah last season. Carlos Boozer leaving for Chicago as a free agent. Kerr was injured most of the year. So it was up to Al Jefferson and Paul Millsap to really come through on the front line.
So on the floor for Utah, Kirilenko, Millsap, and Jefferson are the front court. Devin Harris is out there with Bell. Releases. Millsap kicks to Bell from past the arc. That's good. Bell's got 7 points in the game.
You are really living dangerously if you let him roam free in three-point land. He's a dangerous marksman from out there.
It's good on the putback.
Excellent timing on that tip in. That's something that makes him so good. I mean, just great timing in the air around the basket. A gift.
Here's Harris. Rebounded by the Lakers. Bynum's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Back to what you said, Steve, about the Jazz. They do have a lot of guys up front that can score. Clark, you played on the front line in the NBA. You know how important that is, and you probably have an appreciation for these guys that the Jazz have up front.
No question, Kevin. I mean, Al Jefferson and Paul Millsap, and then if McCord can get healthy, he gives them a dimension with his ability to stretch the defense outside, shooting the ball. And then on the bench, they've even got some guys that can put the ball in the basket pretty well.
Here is Bell. 7 points in the game. Harris outside. He's covered by Fisher. Gathers. And Jefferson throws it down.
You know, the dunks are few and far between for the big guy, but every once in a while we get one just like that.
It's not hard to believe that kind of size might keep you from being a high flyer.
Yeah, that's a lot of man right there to try to get up off the ground, Kevin.
No prettier shot than the finger roll, smooth and beautiful. It's a joy to see.
Bryant. And the layup is good. Kobe's got 42 in the game. Jazz trail by 19. Bryant is whistled for reaching in. That is his first foul of the game. Here's Harris. He's covered by Fisher. Harris kicks to Bell. Back to Harris. Just 5 to shoot. Changes up. And he lays it up and in. Harris has got his 2nd bucket of the night.
3 straight buckets in the paint. They're making it look effortless.
Well, speaking of effortless, you'd like to see a little more out of the defense. How about trying, guys? What a year it was for Paul Millsap last season, guys, with Carlos Boozer leaving for Chicago as a free agent. Millsap stepped into that starting power forward role and really delivered for Utah.
Fisher against Harris. Over Gasol. And again, it's Devin Harris. Harris has got 6 points in the quarter. Back to Millsap and Boozer. You could see Millsap, Clark, as a backup, had the talent with Boozer ahead of him all those years up in Salt Lake.
Yeah, he certainly did. I mean, Utah had one of the best 1-2 punches at that position, Kevin. But it just didn't make sense, again, to keep both of them because you saw Millsap being able to be an effective starter and a little younger than Boozer as well. So I think it made sense to give him the nod.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, the Lakers had another good regular season a year ago, and tough against the Western Conference opponents. They went 36-16 in their conference.
A different look for Utah. Favors comes in for Paul Millsap, and it's C.J. Miles in for Andre Kirilenko. Plenty of tough teams in the West and Steve in the East, like you were talking about, but really, Clark, when you canvass the landscape of the NBA, none tougher than the Lakers. Well,
they've got that confidence-building championship hardware that you can't ever overestimate. They don't fear anybody, and actually, if anything, they've been known to look past the team now and again. But in the Western Conference, you better be ready to play each and every time you tie those shoes on.
And stolen by Fisher. Kobe against Harris. Kobe, that's good. Kobe's got 46 points.
He is truly a special offensive talent. He's always going to cash in on those kind of chances.
And Favors kicks to Miles. The Jazz with another miss. Lakers leading by 16. Artest the pass to Kobe. Feet out. Artest kicks to Kobe. Over Bell. The shot by Kobe, no good. And Utah has possession. They trail by 16. Fisher gets called for the reach. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. Andre Kirilenko is checked in for the Jazz. Watson comes in for Devin Harris. Here is Watson. He passes to Jefferson. He kicks it to Watson. He's covered by Fisher. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Kirilenko. Some solid D here from Bynum.
He was right there, but the defensive pressure forced that miss.
Well contested. That really made it a tough shot.
Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. You look at Kobe Bryant in this game, I mean, he has been everywhere.
Yeah, give him credit. He's been very selective with his shots, and it's paying off for him and his team.
Through the first 3 quarters, Steve, he's taken exactly what the defense has given him, and he's not forced anything. I mean, that's poise that is very impressive. And that's exactly how you should play the game, in my opinion.
Lakers lead by 16. So as we get rolling here in the 4th, let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, for the Sprite Spark Report. Doris?
Hey, Kevin. Well, the spark in this one, Kobe Bryant. His contribution over the course of this game may be the biggest reason for the huge lead they're enjoying. He's been sensational. Guys?
Good stuff, Doris. Clark, he has really been the engine driving them today.
Quite honestly, they wouldn't be in the position they're in right now if it weren't for him, Kevin.
Yeah, they've been really leaning heavily on him, and he's come through in a big way, guys.
Jazz trail by 16. Okay, now let's reset our lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this 4th quarter. Taking a look at the Lakers. Kobe and Artest are the wingmen. Howe and Bynum filling up the middle. And it's Fisher in the point guard.
You know what? That's what you like to see. A perfect pass leading him right into the shot. Didn't even have to break stride.
And they got exactly what they wanted right there. Really high percentage look.
Launches it. Chance shot. A rebound by Kobe Bryant. Kobe's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Over Miles. And it's Kobe missing. The Jazz on offense. It's a 16-point game. Got a piece of it. Kobe with the steal. And Kobe throws it down. Phenomenal play. Now the replay from the Sprite Slam Cam.
I like that. Actually, I love it. He looked almost weightless on that one. A beautiful dunk.
It was. How in the world did he do that?
I don't know. What an amazing effort.
Top of the key. Rebound the Lakers. Their biggest lead of the game was 21. Rebounded by the Jazz. Kirilenko's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Here's Favors. Miles dishes to Watson. Picked up by Artest. And Millsap backing in. Pulls it up. It's good, and Watson picking up the assist. 8 points for Millsap.
It's been a little too easy for them inside, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, Steve. I mean, they've really dictated the action in the paint. That's been their focus, and the defense hasn't mounted much resistance at all.
They continue to go through him, and why not? I mean, he's the leading scorer in this game.
Favors against Bynum. Bunny shot, and there's Millsap. That's good on the assist from Favors. Millsap's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Boy, I like the fluidity I'm seeing from them on offense. It's a thing of beauty. Fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. They're moving the ball well, finding the open man, making that extra pass. They're playing very unselfishly right now.
Utah calls timeout.
You know, for so long we've seen the Lakers coast into the playoffs, put themselves in a tight spot and find a way out of it. But in that series versus Dallas in last season's playoff, they really looked like a tired and overmatched team.
And making a change here, the Jazz. Al Jefferson's checked in for Favors. Hayward comes in for Andre Kirilenko. Aja Bell, he's checked in for C.J. Miles. And Devin Harris subbed in for Earl Watson. Clark down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. And for the Lakers, Kobe said, Clark, after that series, we've been playing with fire the last 3 years. Now we finally got what we deserve. Steve, that is a very interesting quote. Take it apart for us and delve into it.
Well, I think the Lakers had been to the finals for 3 straight years, and I think they were worn out emotionally. And for a couple of those playoff series over the years, they did play with fire and get away with it. Not last year. Dallas just destroyed them, and I think the Lakers just looked tired, both physically and mentally.
5 on the clock. Harris kicks to Jefferson. And good coming on the assist from Devin Harris. Harris has got 4 assists in the game. Here's Kobe, and the layup falls. Kobe's got 56 points in the game. Utah calls timeout. They trail by 18. A minute 50 left here in the fourth quarter. Andre Kirilenko is checked in for Gordon Hayward. Here is Harris on deep, and Andrew Bynum pulls it down. Bynum's got 8 rebounds in this game.
Nice little rebounding advantage they're enjoying here.
Yeah, and that's the reason they've got this big lead. I mean, they're dominating the glass and really being tougher than their opponent.
Harris passes to Kirilenko. Over Artest, and the basket by Kirilenko. Lakers leading by 16. Here's Kobe. It counts. Kobe's got 58.
And that should do it. This is an insurmountable lead.
Yep, there's too little time left, too big a deficit to overcome. This one's over.
Here's Millsap. Here's Bell. Good work defensively by Kobe.
Really good work defensively. This coach has to be happy with his team.
Yeah, forcing that miss right there, great effort.
No good there off the double clutch. Guys, we have seen them with a lot of good ball movement.
Well, you like the smooth operating they're showing you here. I mean, things are clicking, and more importantly, it makes them tough to defend.
Yeah, there's no agenda. I mean, the ball's just moving to whoever is open, and as a result, they've kind of developed a clicking pace to their game. It's been fun to watch.
A shot by Millsap. He had a couple looks, but came up empty.
Boy, surprised to see that one stay out.
Me too, Steve. I mean, those are ones that usually go down for sure.
Yeah, looks like this one's out of reach.
Yep, just a matter of the clock running out now.
Turnover. He couldn't stay in bounds, and that's going to be a turnover.
Just a total lack of focus, was not paying attention to where he was.
This could get even more out of hand if they continue to put up points.
What an offensive performance it's been.
Unloads from 9. And that one's good by Kobe. Kobe's got 60. And turnovers, Clark and Steve, have been the issue for him.
Yeah, it sure has been the case. I mean, turnovers are like missing breakfast. Eventually, it's going to cost you.
Why does it always come back to food, Clark?
I'll tell you what, for what's really an elementary shot, he looked a little nervous on that release.
And so it's the Lakers taking care of business here. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Steve, and Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Kobe Bryant.